The engine sputtered, coughing like an old man struggling to catch his breath. Ethan coaxed his beat-up Honda Civic up the final bend in the road, the car protesting with every mile. Dust swirled in the air, clinging to the overgrown bushes lining the driveway, creating a hazy curtain that seemed to separate the past from the present. It had been 10 years, yet the path to his childhood home remained etched in his memory, each landmark a ghost of his younger days. Each turn, each rise and fall of the road whispered a silent greeting, a somber welcome back, as if the road itself remembered him. The house loomed at the end of the drive, a skeletal silhouette against the fading light, its once grand structure now a shadow of its former self. The once bright blue paint was now a peeling, faded memory, each flake a testament to the passage of time. Shutters hung precariously from rusted hinges, like broken wings, adding to the house's forlorn appearance. A shiver ran down Ethan's spine, a mix of anticipation and dread. The house had always been imposing, even in its prime, a grand old lady of the neighborhood. Now, it was something else entirely, a haunted relic of a bygone era. It was a specter, a haunting reminder of a past he had tried to outrun, but could never truly escape. Stepping out of the car, Ethan was met with an eerie silence, the kind that makes you feel like you're not alone. The only sound was the wind rustling through the tall grass, whispering secrets in the fading light, as if the very earth was trying to tell him something. Memories flickered through his mind, laughter echoing through the halls, the scent of his mother's apple pie, the warmth of family gatherings that once filled the house with life. Now only a chilling emptiness remained, a void where love and laughter once thrived. Taking a deep breath, Ethan approached the house, each step heavy with the weight of the past. He could almost feel unseen eyes watching him, judging his return, as if the house itself was alive and aware of his presence. The air grew heavy, thick with a palpable sense of dread, as if the very atmosphere was conspiring to keep him out. But beneath the fear, a flicker of curiosity burned, a need to understand what had happened here. He was here for answers, and he wouldn't leave until he found them, no matter what it took. As he stood there, he recalled the days of his youth, the games played in the yard, the stories told by the fireplace, and the sense of belonging that had once defined this place. Now, he was ready to face whatever truths the house held, to confront the ghosts of his past and find closure. With a final, resolute step, Ethan moved towards the house, ready to uncover the secrets that had been buried for so long. The front door creaked open, a groan of protest after years of silence. The sound echoed through the empty hallways, a reminder of the life that once thrived within these walls. Dust motes danced in the faint shafts of sunlight that pierced the gloom, swirling lazily in the still air. It was as if time itself had slowed down in this forgotten place. The air was stale, heavy with the scent of decay and forgotten things. The walls, once vibrant with fresh paint, were now peeling and cracked, revealing the layers of history beneath. Stepping inside, Ethan was immediately transported back to his childhood. Memories flooded his mind, each step bringing back a different scene from his past. He could almost hear the echo of his own laughter bouncing off the high ceilings, the patter of his feet on the wooden floor. The house had once been filled with joy and the sounds of a bustling family. A faded family portrait hung askew on the wall, the faces within obscured by dust and time. The smiles in the photographs seemed distant, almost ghostly, as if they belonged to another world. The once vibrant colors were now muted, mirroring the faded joy that the house held. Each brushstroke, once full of life, now seemed to tell a story of loss and abandonment. The living room, once filled with the warmth of family gatherings, now stood empty and cold. The fireplace, which had once been the heart of the home, was now just a dark, empty void. Cobwebs draped the furniture like ghostly shrouds, and dust lay thick on every surface. The once comfortable chairs and sofas were now mere skeletons of their former selves. The grand piano, his mother's prized possession, stood silent in the corner, its polished surface dulled by neglect. It was a stark reminder of the music that had once filled the house. Ethan ran a finger across its surface, leaving a clean streak in the dust. The simple act brought back memories of his mother playing, her fingers dancing across the keys with grace and passion. The faint vibration seemed to hum with a life of its own. It was as if the piano still held onto the echoes of the past, waiting for someone to bring it back to life. A wave of sadness washed over him. The house, once a place of love and laughter, was now a silent witness to the passage of time and the inevitability of change. This house, once a sanctuary, was now a tomb of memories both cherished and painful. Each room held a story, each corner a secret, all waiting to be rediscovered. He had been so eager to escape this place, to outrun the shadows of his past. The memories had been too painful, the loss too great. Yet, here he was, drawn back by a force he couldn't fully comprehend. Perhaps it was the need for closure, or maybe it was the hope of finding something he had lost. Whatever the reason, he knew he had to face the ghosts of his past. As Ethan ventured deeper into the house, the silence grew heavier, almost oppressive. It pressed down on him, amplifying every creak of the floorboards beneath his feet, every rustle of the wind in the eaves. It was the silence of absence, of a presence once vibrant but now eerily gone. He wandered through the darkened hallways, his hand trailing along the walls for guidance. Each room he passed was a snapshot frozen in time, a haunting reminder of the life that once filled these spaces. The dining room, with its long empty table, seemed to whisper of laughter and conversation now stilled. His father's study, the scent of old books still clinging to the air, spoke of long nights spent lost in thought. Ethan paused at the foot of the grand staircase, its once polished banister now rough and splintered. He remembered sliding down its smooth surface as a child, his laughter echoing through the house. Now the only sound was the thumping of his own heart, a steady drumbeat against the suffocating silence. Above him, the second floor loomed, shrouded in shadows. It was up there, in the furthest reaches of the house, that his most vivid and unsettling childhood memories resided. It was up there that he could feel the pull, the irresistible draw towards the truth he sought. Each step up the stairs was a journey into the heart of his apprehension. The creaking of the old wooden steps echoed through the silence, each sound amplifying his growing unease. It was as if the house itself was alive, whispering secrets of the past with every groan and creak. The air grew noticeably colder as he ascended, sending a shiver down his spine. His breath became visible, a ghostly mist in the dim light, adding to the eerie atmosphere. The chill seemed to seep into his bones, making him acutely aware of the isolation and the weight of the history that surrounded him. The shadows seemed to deepen, clinging to him like icy fingers. They danced and flickered, creating shapes that played tricks on his mind. Every corner seemed to hide a phantom, every shadow a lurking presence. It was as if the darkness itself was alive, watching his every move. The weight of the house, of its past, pressed down on him, threatening to consume him. The walls seemed to close in, the air thick with the memories of those who had walked these halls before him. It was a suffocating presence, a reminder of the countless stories and secrets that the house held within its walls. He reached the second-floor landing and paused, his eyes adjusting to the gloom. The dim light barely illuminated the space, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to stretch endlessly. He took a moment to steady himself, to gather the courage to continue. The hallway stretched before him, a tunnel of shadows punctuated by closed doors. Each door seemed to hold a promise of revelation or a threat of more secrets. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the faint creaks and groans of the old house. Each door held a memory, a fragment of his past. He could almost hear the echoes of laughter, the whispers of conversations long gone. Each door was a portal to a different time, a different chapter of his life, filled with both joy and sorrow. And at the very end of the hallway, bathed in the faint glow of the moon shining through the window, lay his mother's study. The moonlight cast a silvery sheen on the door, making it stand out against the darkness. It was a beacon, guiding him towards the answers he sought. The study had always been his mother's sanctuary, a place where she could lose herself in her research, her books, her thoughts. It was a room filled with the scent of old paper and ink, a place of quiet contemplation and intellectual pursuit. The walls were lined with shelves, each one crammed with books and papers, a testament to her insatiable curiosity and love for knowledge. Even as a child, Ethan had sensed a certain power emanating from that room, a feeling both alluring and unnerving. It was a place where he had always felt a strange mix of comfort and fear, a room that seemed to hold a life of its own. The air was thick with the energy of countless hours spent in study and reflection. It was a place of secrets, of whispered conversations and late-night vigils. The walls seemed to hold the echoes of his mother's voice, the soft murmur of her thoughts as she delved into her work. It was a room that had seen countless nights of quiet determination and relentless pursuit of knowledge, and it was there, he knew, that he would find the answers he sought. The room held the key to the mysteries that had haunted him for so long. It was a place where the past and present converged, where the secrets of his family were waiting to be uncovered. With a deep breath, Ethan started down the hallway, his footsteps echoing in the silence. Each step brought him closer to the study, to the answers he had been seeking. The silence was almost oppressive, broken only by the sound of his own breathing and the faint creaks of the old house. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest, a frantic rhythm against the deathly quiet of the house. The tension was palpable, a tangible force that seemed to press down on him with every step. His pulse quickened, each beat a reminder of the gravity of the moment. As he approached his mother's study, the air grew heavy, charged with an almost electric tension. It was as if the very air around him was alive, crackling with energy and anticipation. The door loomed before him, a barrier between him and the answers he sought. The pull he had felt since entering the house intensified, urging him forward, beckoning him closer. It was a force he couldn't resist, a magnetic draw that compelled him to move forward. The study was calling to him, a siren song that promised revelation and understanding.